Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Look, Wrestling 101, classes in session. Pay attention to the teachings, that's from Andrew and Derek. I mean, these guys making a killing with no competition. Dynamic duo better than the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys. Everybody make some noise, mess with them, you get destroyed. They cannot be beat, take a seat. Watch them do their thing on the MIC. Face defeat, they cannot be seen like JC. Oh my goodness, it's a killing spree.
Alfred Stevens, and you're listening to the Wrestling IQ 101 podcast.
Hey everyone, this is Andrew from Wrestling IQ 101. When I'm not hosting our podcast, I'm usually at collarandelbowbrand.com. That's right, Collar and Elbow is the only place that combines wrestling with street attire. And I know what you're thinking, I want to look fashionable too, and I also want to save 10%. So head over to collarandelbowbrand.com and use the promo code WIQ101 and look fashionable and save some money. And now, on with the show. Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of Wrestling IQ 101. I'm Andrew, and you can listen to Wrestling IQ 101 right here on YouTube by hitting the subscribe button. You can check out past episodes, this episode, and future ones. Plus, you can follow us on social media at Wrestling IQ 101. And today, my guest is Dalton, the Delf man, the Delf boy. How's it going, man?
It's going good, dude. It's been very busy. Can't wait for the summer, man. But it's good to be back on Wrestling IQ 101, number one podcast in the land.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. I'm glad to have you back. I mean, it's been a while since we talked. I mean, a lot's changed since last time we talked. Almost maybe a year ago, right?
Yeah, I think it was like right when the pandemic started, maybe 2 years ago almost now.
Yeah, it was a while back. I mean, a lot's changed for you. You've been getting some big opportunities over the last, last couple of years. I remember, like, GCW, you had something really big happen. Like, you went through the playset. It's been pretty wild for you, right?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be selected to take on Nasty Leroy for 4th of July GCW in 2020. 2020. And there was a moment during that match where I climbed up. I was told to do something completely different by the match agent, Joey Janela, breaking the fourth wall. He wanted me to do a swanton off a swing set, but there was a playhouse right next to it. So I went after we were like maybe 10 minutes into the match. It was a long, grueling match. We did a lot of crazy spots. It went pretty viral. I'm sure a lot of people listening saw it, but. Yeah, so I went to climb the playhouse, and it's one of those things in wrestling where, like, it's the perfect storm. Like, you don't plan it, but it just happens, and it got a really crazy reaction. People still talking. It's been over almost 2 years, and people are still talking about when I climbed up and it just collapses, and everybody there's laughing, and I think it got like 1 million hits. Botchamania covered. It's been everywhere. Everybody's covered it. I'm just waiting for it to be on Ridiculousness or something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And it's funny. It just takes a moment to have those, that viral moment. Remember, like, Joey Janela just took a moment for him. I mean, you go your whole career, and it just takes 1 second sometimes to have that one defining moment that helps you break in from being just, a regular superstar into a mega superstar.
Yeah, Joey Janela is he's a great wrestler and he's a big inspiration to me. He's also a good friend of mine, actually. Wow. He's kind of like a mentor. He looks out for me because I'm a Jersey boy. And he always saw me working hard at the GCW shows behind the scenes. I would wipe up people's blood. I would sweep the venue, sweep the ring, anything to build the ring, anything you needed me to do. So, that's how you get guys like Joey's respect. And once you have guys like Joey's respect and some of, the guys like on his level, you carry yourself a different way. You stop worrying about the naysayers and all the other guys that are just miserable. Because there's a lot of guys that'll try to just, distract you and mess with your focus. But Joey's a guy that, AEW dropped the ball with him, I feel like.
Oh,
and
yeah.
now he's getting in better shape. He's focused, and he's going to tear up the independent scene. I can't wait for what Joey's going to do 2022.
Oh, yeah, definitely one of the eyes people should be keeping their eye on because he is the bad boy. He just had a fantastic match with Pat Buck. I was there the other night to see that. What a fantastic match that was. And, like you said, yeah, he's in fantastic shape. He's killing it. And AEW, man, what a missed opportunity. And it's funny that you said that because you've been really, your career spans so many different places. I mean, SWF, Titan, of course, GTS. How was that? How was the second run at SWF for you?
Well, the second run was basically me coming in off of, I think it was over the beginning of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
The beginning of 2020, right?
Mm-hmm.
When did I don't even remember, but so I came in and Rob was treating me good, and I hadn't been there since his former business partner was with him running the show like 2018. So I was probably 18, 19 years old at the time. And then when I came back to SWF, I think I was like 20, 21. So I was a little older for my second run. And I had a lot of good matches. My first weekend back, we did 3 shows in 2 days. And New Jack was on the show. It was one of New Jack's last appearances. Ray Apollo, Eric Sims, Sandman, they were all there. It was great. I wrestled 3 matches.
Yeah.
And we inducted a good friend of mine, Marzano, in the Hall of Fame. Chad also returned that weekend to the brand. It was a monumental weekend, and looking back on it, it was a great time. I'm glad we did it. And I think the SWF, I mean, obviously not every show was super great.
Mm-hmm.
But towards the end, it kind of fell apart a little bit. But I feel like I have no regrets about coming back to it and I loved my match with Rob Fury one-on-one at Booton, and I got to wrestle in front of my grandfather. That was great. He's 80 years old.
Wow.
And it was just, I had a lot of good matches. I won a lot at SWF, but I think the last few matches, my last few shows, I kind of lost a lot of momentum. And I don't know what the future holds for me right now with myself at SWF. But, I always say never. And if Rob called me, I would answer. And if, I'm sure if I called him, he would answer. So it's not like, there's any heat there.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, being part of SWF, I mean, that was... You always wanted to be part of SWF? Because I remember you always like those Jersey wrestlers, like, Teddy Hart. I mean, he's not really from Jersey, but he's really big here on Jersey All Pro. His history's tied into those kind of things, like,
Yeah, Teddy saved my life. Teddy saved me from being stabbed by Matt.
By Matt?
And also Matt Wolf. And that also helped.
You were stabbed?
Almost. Teddy saved me. He took the weapon out of his hand. It was in Asbury. That was at a GCW show, so that's kind of what got me noticed by like a lot of the GCW locker room, and that's what put me on the map. I feel like that moment backstage. Sometimes it's not even what you do in the ring; it's your antics outside the ring. And I was like super wasted, and it was unprofessional. But if that didn't happen, I don't know where I would. I don't know if I would be sitting here talking about being on GCW ever. You know what I mean? Like if that didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, how does it get to the point where, I mean, were you provoking it, or was it just, how does that even happen?
Teddy told me to teach him a lesson.
Uh-huh.
We were tearing down the ring, because I always looked up to Teddy, because Teddy's work is fucking phenomenal. He's on point in the ring. You can't, nobody moves like him. He does a fucking backflip out of the ass. He can do a backflip just standing up in the middle of the ring. He doesn't even have to go off the ropes. And he just land however he wants, do whatever he's kind of backflipping. He can do any move. He can take any move. He's the best wrestler.
Yeah.
And he's still the best wrestler. He's in shape. He's getting bigger. He's putting on some size. He's not fat, but he's building up some muscle. And he's ready to make a comeback and tear the independent scene up.
Ooh.
And he's going to show everybody why he was the king of the indies for a long time. And all the guys that are trying to count Ted Hart out, they're going to learn real quick the Hart Dungeon style. Old school Stan Hansen. And I always say PC stands for pussy and cocksucker.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if we're allowed to curse on this gimmick, but
yeah, it's okay. You can say it.
That's what the Hart Foundation. That's what the real Hart Foundation says in 2022. when they wrestle in front. And I'm a part of the Heart Foundation as well.
Oh, nice.
But I wasn't a part of that match. But they wrestled in front of I think it was 3,000 people in San Francisco, or not San Diego, California, somewhere out there. This lucha show. So people are saying Teddy Hart's a ghost. His career's over. Teddy Hart's been wrestling pretty much every weekend all year in front of some big crowds, and he's just doing his thing. He's Teddy Hart. He's Brett's nephew. He's a big freaking deal. He's always going to be around because as long as he wants to be, because he's Teddy effing Hart.
Yeah.
I believe in him. And to the wrestling fans that still believe in him, for every one person that goes on the internet and bitches about Teddy Hart, there's 10 loyal Teddy Hart fans that stand by Teddy Hart no matter what. And Teddy knows who his real friends are. There's a whole festival we can run called Teddy Hart Day, and I know thousands of people would show up just to celebrate Ted because he's a good dude.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't harm a fly. So I don't know why anybody would ever say anything negative about him or that he would do anything malicious, because he would never hurt anybody. He never hurt a guy in the ring, and he would never hurt a guy on the streets.
Yeah. I met Teddy a couple times. He's a very pleasant guy to be around, and impeccable fashion.
Yeah, so I don't listen to the internet or dirt sheets, especially when it comes to him, because it's all swerved and it's just misrepresented. And they say this article, that article. Ted saved my life. He's a good friend of mine. When he goes to WWE events, he can go backstage and hang out with whoever he wants. Yeah. It's just people that'll never be anything that have an issue with guys like Ted.
Has he ever given you fashion advice though?
I wear the Zubas because he didn't give me advice, but I noticed how he always had his pants, so I wanted to kind of have my own gimmick, and I felt like the Zubas fit me. Uh-huh. I don't have I don't feel like the sparkly pants. Get some custom made. If I did that, then everybody would think I'm him. But Zubas are cool. I mean, I got 25 different pairs.
Wow. So now we've had these talks a while. Remember, what were your goals in wrestling again, so people can hear this time around.
So right now, my goal is to get back to Jersey Championship Wrestling. I know I'm in the rotation of the roster, but I want to be there a little more frequently. I know they bring me in to face off with our team with Leroy sometimes. And hopefully that, me and Brett Lauderdale, we have a good working relationship. I like to think that, he thinks that I'm a good heel and a good performer. And, I respect him very much. And he with all due respect, he's a guy that's kind of started from the bottom. But he turned, he didn't start from the bottom, but, he turned, Game Changer World and Howell to what it is today, traveling every weekend, sometimes twice a week, 3 times a week to, different cities all over the country, all over the world. And he's been able to keep it up for a lot of years now. So, I mean, he's the best promoter, I think, in wrestling behind Vince McMahon.
Yeah, he's one of them. I mean, he really is killing it. I mean, it's amazing
I think he's going to be a billionaire one day, actually. He's one of the smartest men in wrestling.
Really? That's some high praise to put it out there like that. It's pretty cool. And yeah, he does put on some killer shows. I mean, you could see, he's bringing in people like Matt Cardona and Kurt Hawkins and you. I mean, he has some good taste.
I mean, I know my Brett Lauderdale. I mean, I don't stalk the guy, but I know he worked for WWE. Back in the day, he did the. I believe he did the WWE Where Are They Now section or something like that. Something like Illuminati, Where Are They Now, articles or something. He created that, and I remember when I was in 3rd, 4th grade, I would read that section at WWE.com.
Oh yeah.
With Paul, I read about Paul Bearer, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I mean, Brett might have, later on working for Brett, I'm in 3rd grade at the time, and then later on working for Brett, it's, the small world is crazy, but he's so talented. So I mean, obviously a company like WWE can utilize a guy like that. Oh
yeah, absolutely. And you've had some crazy matches. I remember, this past summer, Boardwalk Buzz, you were getting in the ring with Shlak. I remember watching you come back, just a few hours later, and you were covered in scars. I mean, And you seemed to be okay. I remember you were in good spirits afterwards. I remember you even, you were mopping up the blood or something like that. That's crazy. Or souring,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it was a great weekend. Boardwalk Buds 2021. It was one of the best weekends of my life. I don't think I'm ever going to get that again. I mean, I'm sure I'll have a great time again like that, but that was freaking awesome. That whole thing, Chad was very focused, and at the same time, when you got a lot of pressure going into an event like that, and I think he was going in there to hit a home run. And he ended up hitting the grand slam, and I'm proud of him because he's a friend of mine. He's a mentor of mine. He taught me a lot about the business. He also taught me a lot about life and how to work and get up every morning and go to work no matter what. Always work hard, never give up, and never feel sorry for yourself. Always be motivated. And he's a guy that's made many comebacks in business and life, and he's a great promoter. And he's got a lot of shows in Connecticut coming up May 21st. He's got a loaded show, Pistol Pete's Bar and Grill, and he's been running shows in Pennsylvania. He's been running shows all over New Jersey, Atlantic City. He actually brought independent wrestling back to Atlantic City. Yeah. He's the first guy to do that under the SWF banner, but it was probably the best SWF show ever ran.
Yeah, right. It had Jack Swagger in on it. It was crazy. That was Berto Del Rio, right? I mean,
Pentagon Jr.
Yeah.
Exploded.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. What's your relationship now with Chad?
I think there were, the beginning of the year, to tell you the shoot truth, there was a little scheduling conflict. It wasn't my fault or his fault, really. It was just the fucking way things work. And, it was more my fault, I think, of me being an idiot and just thinking a certain way. But it was just kind of he had a show in the end of January, and then there was a big snowstorm, so it got postponed. And then I'm like, oh shit, because I do celebrity boxing sometimes. So then there was this other boxing company that reached out to me, and they offered me a payday, and I already said yes to that for that date before Chad's show was snowed out. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when Chad postponed his show to that date, I was like, I'm already booked. So I think that kind of was that's when things started to get a little rocky. And then, I tried to work it out, and I showed up to the show, and obviously it wasn't a good idea to show up to the show. I thought he would have wanted me there. I thought he had something for me to do on the show, but Tebow Brown wasn't even there. Something happened. I don't even know. Exactly. I don't think it was Chad's fault. I think it was just a bad deal or a miscommunication or so. I don't even know, man, but I guess something happened where there was a standalone Got Talent Battle Royal in Bumblefuck, Pennsylvania, and one of the boys, I'm not going to name him because I don't want to get him any heat because I don't want to get any of the boys heat. What the boys say to each other, is we say to each other. I'm not going to go on the media and put it out there, but one of the boys is like, hey man, you should get in that Rumble and just get in there. And I'm like, because Chad actually asked me to leave the building because I was passing out Doritos, which were apparently infused with fucking marijuana, but it didn't taste like. I think the guy just sold me a $19 bag of Doritos and fucking worked me out of that. I don't even think they were edibles. Yeah, I think he was. They were really shady people, man. You know what I mean? I think it was just a screw job from the beginning.
Wow.
But so I got heat for that. I got booted by his locker room agents or whatever he liked to call them, and they're good people. They asked me nicely to leave too, and I did. And then I walked back in to watch some of the show quietly, and then one of my peers told me I should do that, and I was like, brother, I already got my gear on brother, I already got my gear on under my clothes. And then I fucking ripped it off. And when the battle royal started, right before the bell rang, I ripped it off. I looked at Chad. I taunted him. I got in the ring, and then he runs to the curve. It looks so funny on camera. It's like on TV. but he goes behind the curtain and tells one of his locker room agents to get me the hell out of the ring. He's a guy he's pretty tall, good size, great worker, great dude. But he didn't want to get involved with that because that would have been like a shoot. You know what I mean? So. You know, because I already invaded the match like a shoot because I do what I want to do because I feel like I'm one of the guys that build standalone wrestling. You understand? I feel like I'm like one of the cornerstones of that company, and if it wasn't for me, that company wouldn't even be here right now. That company would have went away when it went away at the Boardwalk Beatdown incident or whatever you want to call it. But I revived it, so I'm very proud of that too. And I'm also very proud of reviving Pro Wrestling After Dark. And I believe that we're going to bring in the DILF back to Pro Wrestling After Dark sooner than later. So we're going to do a lot of hot angles, and I'm going to be wrestling some of the best deathmatch wrestlers in the world. So I know there's a lot of demand from a lot of the fans out there, and they want to see me wrestle some of the best deathmatch guys out there. People want to see me wrestle Tremont, Casanova Valentine, all these guys. People pitch me a different name. I get messages from like random people all over the world. Like, oh, you got to fight this guy. And they're all deathmatch guys because they love what I did with Shlak.
Yeah.
So I mean, After Dark's the play. I want to do that with After Dark because I feel like I could put After Dark on the map doing that. I feel like there's there's still more to do. So I would love to work for Standalone and After Dark. I love those companies, and those companies are home.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, I hope to see you one day, like in the big stage, like WWE or AEW. But right now, I mean, those are the places when I think of your career. I think of Standalone. I think of Pro Wrestling After Dark, SWF, for sure.
Trifecta, baby.
Yeah, the trifecta. Now, I mean, you're not just wrestling here in New Jersey. I mean, you're breaking out. I mean, can you tell people where you've been?
Oh, yeah, I've been in Ohio working for Bobby Fulton. He had like a crowd of 1,200 people. That show was freaking, not the name drop, but that show was loaded. Like Shane Douglas, Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton, who else? Bishwacker Luke, Ricky Steamboat. Ricky Steamboat walked right in the locker room and just started telling stories. And back in the day, believe it or not, when I was a little younger in this business, I was a babyface. And I was in a tag team with this kid called the Delivery Boy, Tony Cheney, who he's doing great now. He's like he's in this video game. He's doing motion capture with like Kurt Angle. I'm so proud of him because he's a guy that went to wrestling school for a few months. And he lives in my town, and then that wrestling school kind of went under, and then he hit me up because he saw like I was kind of doing my thing on GTS and SWF and a few other places. And we met, and I met up with him. I brought him to Grimm's Toy Show, and then I brought him to SWF. And now look at him. He doesn't have to go to either of those places because he's so busy just doing his thing. Like whatever, he's getting flown everywhere and on other people's dimes. He's killing it. I'm so proud of him. Like, he's a professional and he's a good dude. He's a good friend.
Yeah, I mean, you're working with Kurt Angle. That just says it right there.
But yeah, I've been on the road with Tony to Ohio, and that was great. Also, I was recently in Pittsburgh with my former partner Jimmy Controversy, very controversial man in the wrestling business.
Yeah.
I think he needs a little bit of help. You know what I mean? But I'm going to help him with my boot to his freaking ass next time I see him.
Well, that's one way to fix some of these problems. The good old beatdown, I guess.
And it's not going to be a boardwalk beatdown either, brother.
Well, I'm lucky I'm staying out of this.
It's not going to be 6-on-1. It'll be 1-on-1.
Yeah.
I'll handle him. He'll find himself when I'm done with him.
Oh my gosh.
He'll find himself on lockdown.
Oh boy. Well, talking about lockdown, talk about your time with Lockdown Superstars LCC.
Speaking of Jimmy and lockdown, so we started this. Actually, I was doing it at first. I was doing my thing. I had other business partners, but it's not that I was a bad partner. It was that they weren't committed. They really just weren't. Mm-hmm. They didn't know what the hell they were doing, and they didn't want to stick around, and they just wanted to kind of just come in, and they expected things to happen right away, and they barely put anything out or put any work into anything, and they just expected to fucking make bank. You were at Boardwalk Buds we brought in James Ellsworth for autograph signing. And this guy at my table was selling like hats. He sold like one fucking hat, made like $20, and then we both went in on James, and we did okay on James. Like, we broke even on him, but like we're not making money, and he quit. So what you do is you reevaluate who you're working with and what you're doing, and then what did I do? The next thing I did was Icons of Wrestling in December last year, right around a week before Christmas, with the fucking who was there? Sting.
Yeah.
Sting. Flair wasn't there because he said the night before he called out that it was supposed to be Flair, but Sting was there. It was at the ECW Arena.
Yeah.
And I had Ellsworth and Gillberg there. Jimmy had Snitsky. I had Ruckus. We had 2 tables, and we slammed it. We fucking killed it. Like, we did great that day.
Yeah.
I have no complaints. Financially, business was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was a partnership, but we had all the pieces to the puzzle. We had guys helping us out. We had guys that were making sure everything was running smoothly. I couldn't have done it without a great team. But it fell apart a few weeks after that, when we were preparing to go for the next convention, which was freaking the big one, WrestleCon Dallas, which is WrestleMania weekend, which is like 3 days, I think, of freaking sessions, 4 sessions in like 2 or 3 days. And
a lot.
We had a stacked lineup. I was supposed to do the Gillberg Ellsworth thing because they haven't been in Dallas in a while, and those are my dudes, and we do good business. We do good repeat business. Mm-hmm. And if you ever ask anybody about me, any of my talent, they've always been taken care of, and I always made sure, because I'm a professional, and when I book somebody, there's no games, there's no BS. Unlike what Lockdown Superstars now is, because I'm no longer there. Ever since I left, it's been nothing but one guy stealing from everybody else that puts money into it. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, okay, you can go and say, I did those things, but meanwhile, he's doing it, and there's proof, and then whenever he puts out something, there's no proof. Or whenever he says, he said something like along the lines of, when we went to Pittsburgh, we were best friends. And then now all of a sudden, I used his dad's credit card for $1,900, and he's calling the police on me. This is like storyline stuff. They're just over at Lockdown Superstars. It's just like it's comedy hour over there, like all 24 hours a day. They're clowns. I don't know who's still affiliated with them. I know this guy Christopher. Doesn't have a clue. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure he ripped off Jimmy, and Jimmy was dumb enough. Jimmy rips off everybody, but there's a totem pole of guys, and they suck, and they don't know what they're doing, and they don't understand business. They can't even do math, and it's just a joke, and they're not on my level. I don't know, I'm not even going to mention them anymore, but my time with Lockdown Superstars, things were running smoothly before my business partner pulled the table for WrestleCon Dallas, and I was unable to get those guys to Dallas. But what I did was I brought those guys to Philly again when I didn't have them booked originally a week before Dallas Icons was in Philly, and I gave them a makeup date. So my guys didn't lose out on a payday. His guys, he tried to book Gangrel when he doesn't have a job for $1,600. So, he doesn't have a clue. Like, I don't know. He doesn't. I don't get it. I just don't understand what the logic there was. I have a budget. I work. I stick to what I do, and it works.
Yeah.
I see things. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. You have to have a plan before you do business, especially with a guy like Gangrel. You have to have a plan.
Yeah. A lot of these guys too. They kind of know what to look for. When they're getting into these promoting things. But like you said, you brought in James Ellsworth, Gillberg. Who's an ideal talent for you to bring in if you could pick one?
I want to bring in. Well, Bret Hart's really expensive, but Bret Hart would be great if I had the means to. I don't want to go out of pocket But if I had like somebody that was willing to go in on Bret Hart meet me halfway, to bring Bret Hart to a show, and Bret Hart's willing to get in the ring and cut a promo, and Bret's willing to play ball, not like wrestle, but like he's willing to get a little bit involved, or not just be there for a payday and sign and dip. I would love to bring a guy like Bret Hart. I think a guy like Bret Hart has a lot to offer knowledge-wise. If you can get him to talk. Yeah. He's a rare guy. You don't see him often, but he's definitely an attraction.
Yeah. It's great because he's done something like that for like WrestlePro. Like he's gotten in the ring after a signing just to say hi to all the fans that didn't come. They paid to see him, but maybe not paid to see him, meet him. So it is pretty cool when when you get these guys involved, like you said.
And when lockdown, I just want to say, when lockdown superstars and me split in the business, I decided to start a Find Yourself Wrestling with Gillberg. So me and Gillberg produce live events now. Our first show is July 15th, Friday night, Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. We have more shows coming up September, October, November. We're going to be loaded with shows. I'm planning to have 3 or 4 shows this year, but our first one is confirmed. You can get tickets on simpletix.com. We got Ellsworth, Gillberg, Ruckus, Big Trouble Ben Bishop, myself, Selfie Superstar, Too Hot Steve Scott, return to Damian Darling, fucking Isaac Skype, my tag team partner. It's a loaded show. We got Rhett Titus. You got Eli Ism from freaking Ring of Honor, recently seen on All Elite Wrestling. So, these are guys that bring it. These are guys that, are coming to wrestle. They're quality guys. They're not backyarders. They're not sloppy, fat wrestlers, out of shape guys that are marketing themselves, that don't have a clue how to work, or, don't know a wrist lock from a hammer lock. These are guys that people want to see. We even have a guy from Micromania called Jay Savage. And he might be little, but he can kick ass, and he's strong as hell, and he's a bodybuilder, power lifter, and he's coming in to team up with Mike Goldstein and Ivy Platinum to take on the team of Blackout, which is Robbie Marino, James Ellsworth, and Ruckus. So that's a wild 6-man tag team match. I don't think you can see that anywhere else. I don't think anybody else would think of that. So the Gillberg and myself came up with that match. And fans are going to get to see that match. And if you can't make it to Ridgefield Park, because I know not everybody lives in North Jersey, you can also go on IWTV on the Standalone Wrestling channel, and you can check out all of my events, because we're probably going to be on their library. I probably shouldn't say that yet, but we are. We're definitely going to be taping our shows, and there was an offer, and I accepted it. So we will be on IWTV. Our show will be featured on IWTV, and I'm very grateful to have that working relationship with other promoters, where it's not like, we're the new kids on the block and everybody's kind of standoffish. When me and Gillberg decided to do this, I was a little worried that some of the promoters I work, because I'm still a wrestler, my goals are mainly as a wrestler, and so when I decided to do this, myself and Gillberg had a long conversation about the business, and he told me about his time working for Vince and how he used to handle business. And, I just learned so much on the phone with him, and we talk almost every day. And even if we're not on the phone, we're texting constantly. And he's ready to play ball. Like he's heavily involved as a general manager here, and he's excited. He's ready to go. He's never had his own wrestling company, and this is his company, and I'm just here, with him to help produce it. But he's the general manager. He's gonna be the guy that is in the ring, is making the matches, and he's gonna be cutting promos. Maybe he'll spear somebody. He's ready. He's retired from wrestling, but he's ready to get in the ring, and
Well, sometimes you gotta take business into your own hands, right? You gotta lay a guy out once in a while, right?
I've even after he retired, I've seen him. He got in the ring and he double cross-bodied this luchador in JMZ over at Prime Time. My good friend Dan Rand. But like I was saying, when I started this with Gillberg, there were promoters that I worked for that I was worried might have been like, why you start your own fed, kid? But they were very supportive right away, and they were very nice. And I know there's a lot of companies in Jersey, and at first I wanted to do Pennsylvania because I had access to a Pennsylvania venue and all, and I had the means to run in Pennsylvania. Like, I was ready to do it. I had everything set up, but I saw that I thought it would be a good idea to run a show in Ridgefield and just get used to running a show. Mm-hmm. And instead of just going crazy in the middle somewhere I've never been, mm-hmm. I decided just to run a place I'm familiar with, run a basic wrestling show before I run my second show. So, I mean, I have Gillberg, and we have a lot of locker room agents that mm-hmm. wrestle for us that also do work as locker room agents that keep everything together, running smoothly, and handle things day-to-day operations. And I can't do it without those guys. And we have a great graphic design guy that makes all our posters. His name's Benjamin Clark. His work is phenomenal. And, you know, I have a guy named John Wise that promotes the hell out of everything we do all over social media. I give him access to our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, because I trust him to, you know, be a guy that can put up things on time and just promote the hell out of it. And he's paid well to do it, but he puts in a lot of work. He earns every dollar that he makes here. And FYW is no hot dog and handshake company. Everybody, all the boys get paid. Sometimes, you know, to break the fourth wall, they get paid up front. You know, we do good business here. We have good faith in our wrestlers because we don't book random guys. I book myself and Gillberg, sit down, and we discuss who do we want to bring in, who is going to draw interest to the fans, who can we build a storyline off of. So we got guys that are underutilized at other places that I feel like some promoters aren't using correctly or kind of drop the ball on, and they're all here to make an impact and really get their focus. And we're keeping the shows 6-7 matches tops. So there's going to be a focus on everybody, and everybody's going to get a chance to shine.
Yeah. You know, you didn't want to call, like, the, you know, this show coming up, the first show, entitled it Foundation of Wrestling?
Nah, because that's been done before, and I'm no longer with the Foundation Wrestling faction. I was actually replaced by Pete Corbis, you know, because I've had a lot of heat with the office the last few months of standalone. But I feel like things are getting back on track, you know. Gillberg was able to negotiate a deal with standalone to get us on IWTV, so that's positive. That's a good thing. And I think I'm going to be back there as a wrestler very soon. I believe there's a need for me to come back for the standalone wrestling fans. And Chad, I think, you know, he needs to DILF back to, you know, make the show. I think he's missing something on every show I'm not on, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it is something, you know, when you're not there. Because you really bring an energy to all the shows that you're on. I mean, it really is something.
Thank you, dude. I'm wearing a standalone shirt right now.
Really? Yeah. I mean, you're always. I always see you repping the brand, and that's
I have like
awesome.
7 of them. I have to.
Yeah. You even use their logo to make your DILF shirt, and then people can get that shirt still, right?
Yeah, people are buying it, and it's on Pro Wrestling Tees on the standalone website.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny because you were talking about Chad earlier and his work ethic, but I don't even think I've ever seen him take a nap or even rest. It's crazy.
Yeah, I have, but it's not for a long period of time. It's like I've seen him pull over on the side of the road and say, I got to take a nap, but then less than 45 minutes he's back on the road and he's like ready to go for the whole day.
Man, I've seen him drink some like water, but I've never seen him actually like eat. I've never seen him like doze off. I'm like, this guy is just a machine.
Yeah, he likes fried chicken.
He likes fried chicken?
Yes.
Wow. You know, it is crazy because, like you said, you know, and you can see that you can see some of that stuff that he's done, you know, fall back on you because, you know, I always see you hustling and busting your butt to do a lot of things in wrestling and not just, you know, sit on the side.
Yeah, he sets the bar, and I got to meet him there. You know, when you're working for Chad, you know, if you're a bum and you're not putting in the work, he doesn't need you. You know, it's like the WWE. You know, you got to swim with the sharks. You got to swim with the fishes. You got to do what you got to do. You can't stop, you know, because they got other fish to fry if you're not ready to play ball. So you got to be ready to play ball when you're working with a guy like that.
So now, you know, so what are your goals now? Because you're starting this company. And you know, like you said, this first show is starting off pretty big, and you know, you never really know. Yeah, you really don't know how these things kind of turn out. I mean, you can be doing this for 12 years, or 12 months, and you never know how these shows are really going to turn out until the day of. But what are your goals here with FYW, and what are your goals going forward in wrestling?
Well, the way I think of FYW is we're the little engine that could.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Everybody says, "Oh, you shouldn't be here." Oh, what is this little pop-up fed? What is this? It's for everybody runs in Ridgefield. I mean, we're going to run other places. People are going to see, and they're going to see who's on our show. They're going to take notice. Trust me. But right now, we're just a little engine that could, and we're not going to take no for an answer. We're not going to be talked out of running anything. We're going to be talked into probably running a lot of shows for the remainder of the year. I'm trying to run 3 or 4 shows, and if that goes well, if that isn't a significant financial loss, hopefully we're making money. But if it's flowing good, and the locker room morale is working, and we're moving forward, and we're building things, and we're actually making progress, I don't see any reason to stop anything. I think we have a lot of great guys here that can keep this going. We got a lot of connections with a lot of great buildings, and I have people in my office right now that I talk to on a daily basis that give me good feedback and that are honest with me. We get things done. We don't focus on negativity or stupid shit. We get things done, and I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of my roster, and it's not just my roster. We're a team. There's no I in team, and these aren't my guys. They're also Gillberg's guys. Gillberg brought a lot of these guys in, like Ben Bishop's coming in. That's one of Gillberg's guy. Ruckus, Ellsworth. I mean, they're my boys too, and they're my friends. But They live around where he lives, and they run with him all the time. But I've done business with them a lot. But, my goal with FYW is just, I don't want to stop. I want to keep going and see where it goes, and try to just build guys I want to build. I want to do something with above average Joe Scott. I think the above average gimmick is just not being used super, what's the word?
Correctly?
It's not being used it could be edgy. It could be big. Above average could be huge. Mm-hmm. Above average doesn't have to be slightly above average. Above average can be way above average. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could be that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to push the envelope. I don't want, I want families to be able to appreciate and enjoy my product. I want people to be able to take their kids out to my shows, and I don't want it to be like, you got to be an adult to be here, because we're going to do death matches, and we're going to throw around, crazy. It's going to be dangerous. We're going to curse a lot. I don't want to have that disclaimer out. But what I want to do is I want to have an edgy product. Mm-hmm. I want to do things that haven't been done before. I want to do things that people always say, what if we did this, but don't have the balls to do. I want to actually do those things. I want to get that reaction. You know what I mean? I want to send shockwaves all over the internet, because I feel like I'm a viral machine. And if I put that into an entire company, every single match, we can make a lot of momentum, a lot of noise, and we can really do something with this product. And it's not just going to be another company in Jersey. It's going to be a company on the fucking map.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool because you have somebody who has the discipline in Gillberg, because he knows what it takes to get to the big time. He's been there throughout his whole career, on and off. Either one-off matches when he wasn't signed, and then being, part of the job squad, or coming back to imitate Goldberg. I mean, this guy knows what it takes to really succeed in the WWE in the land of giants when he wasn't. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, he had a great run. He's a guy that made money in the business, and what it was he actually did Gillberg on the independent scene, mm-hmm. and then he said to somebody, I forget who it was, but he said to somebody, he told me about this on the phone. He said to one of the boys, like, hey, they're doing this Gillberg thing, and then they looked at him and they're like, oh, I think you just got yourself a job, and then they pitched that to Vince, and he loved it, because Goldberg was WCW, and everybody's doing parodies back then.
Yeah.
Now he's still making money off of that idea, dude. That was in the early '90s. He's still cashing out. That's great.
Yeah, and especially leeching off somebody like Goldberg, who still, just a couple of years ago, he was the headline at Boardwalk Beatdown. He's the headline at a convention coming up at Dream America Mall in East Rutherford or somewhere the name of that place is. So yeah, I mean, you could tell like this guy, is what a good partner to have to go in. He, like you say, he never had his own company. This has been like a little dream of his, it seems like, and it looks like you guys are really putting this together. Like you said, it's a stacked card for sure. People are going to want to come up to Ridgefield, June 15th on a Friday night, right?
July 15th.
I'm sorry, July 15th. I'm sorry. And
Friday fight night.
Yeah. So why wouldn't you want to be there? I mean, it's such a good day. Come after work. You're right. You're already tired from work, but you feel like you want to beat up your boss, or you didn't get a chance to yell at your boss or a customer. Come there and take your frustrations out. Watch some fighting, right?
If it's 7 o'clock, doors open, 8 o'clock, bell time. It's going to be a great night. Not too long of a show, but it's not going to be a short show. We're going to have at least 6-7 matches and a lot of stuff going on. It's going to be great.
Sure. And you know what? Who wouldn't want to enjoy a good night of Friday night wrestling? You get a beer, a hot dog, right? And then sit back and enjoy, because like you said, Rep Titus is going to be there. You're going to be there. Gillberg, a fantastic lineup in this show. Ruckus. I mean, I can't wait to see what you do. I can't wait to see the positive feedback you're going to get the next day on social media and word of mouth, because I feel like that's, like you said, viral sensation. If you can apply that to you can apply that to all the other matches, and you can make something successful. So, Dalton, I've always said this, man. I appreciate you taking the time, man, and being a fan of wrestling and being a fan of this podcast, and I hope to see bigger things from this company. Like you said, you're running 3 to 4 events that you have planned already, but to see what the year dictates, because I like to see many more shows from you, and I think you got the best education from Chad and Rob to put these things together.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. You're always welcome at my shows and to do your thing, and wherever you want to roam around and interview whoever you want. Well, I would love to have you.
Well, I appreciate that, and and Dalton, it's going to be a fantastic night, and hopefully, when you get more information about this show, when matches start, tickets become available or matches come up, let Wrestling IQ 101 know, because we'll be more than happy to share this, because it's going to be a pretty big event. The first one here of its kind for FYW, and you don't want to miss this. I mean, it's going to be something awesome. You don't want to keep your eye off of Dalton. He's doing big things. He's traveling out of the state for wrestling. You never know where he's going to be, and to see that you're doing the right things, and that's fantastic, man. I'm glad you got away from the drama of bad business before, and hopefully, like you said, you can realize some of your dreams and bring in like Bret Hart and do things like that, because that'd be fantastic for you, man. Because I really hope so.
Thank you, bro. I really appreciate that. It's very nice of you, and I hope the same for you. And I think successful people think alike. You and I.
Yeah, I hope so, because you don't want to stop. You get driven, and here we are now. And this is going to be fantastic for you, man. And then I'm glad you're doing this, and you got James. I'm just so thrilled with the lineup you have here. It's unbelievable. And
thank you, dude.
And yeah, it's great. So Dalton, always a friend of Wrestling IQ 101. Where can people get you on social media? Where can they get tickets when they're available? Give us a whole spiel.
The pre-sale is actually available right now on simpletix.com. You can check out on my poster, on the Find Yourself Wrestling poster. There's a link. All my social media, you can find the link. I post it every single day, multiple times a day. Simpletix.com. Tickets are $20 in advance, and $20 at the door. $25 at the door. Sorry, $20. There's like a fee to order them. Mm-hmm. But if you pre-order the tickets, if you're a pre-sale, you do get a free Gillberg 8x10 signed, and he will sign it right in front of you as you walk in. Yeah, so that's one of the things we got going on over there for Ridgefield Park.
Well, can we stop there for like 1 second? First, 1 second. Yep. No other company does that. Where you walk through the door and you're getting the signed 8x10 with that person as you're walking in. That's phenomenal.
it was Gillberg's idea, and I was like, let's do it, man. It's a great idea. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Hopefully, catches on.
Yeah.
But you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Dilfboy Daltano. It's all in one word. DILFBOIDALTONO. Dilfboy Daltano. Twitter, Instagram. I have a Facebook gimmick page, is Dilfboy Daltano, or I have my personal page. I have like 5,000 friends, but sometimes people get mad at what I write, or they hear things about me that actually aren't true or swerved or whatever, and they hit the unfriend button instead of talking to me like a professional or like an adult. It's out of my control. I don't have time for those people, but you can add me on Facebook if you want, if there's room on my list, or you can always send me a message and I'll make room for you. I love all my fans. I appreciate you all.
Yeah, Dalton, man, it was a pleasure talking to you, man. I can't wait to see this fantastic card, and thank you for inviting me, because I can't wait to see what you do. I can't wait to see the amount of just production you put into these matches, the amount of detail you put in here. I mean, look, you already just spoiled it for everybody by saying they're going to get an 8x10 of Goldberg. That's almost the price. People pay that price of admission just for that. So it's awesome. You're getting the match. You're getting all the matches. You're getting the Goldberg autograph. You're getting to see the stars, and some big name stars too. I mean, it's amazing how you've been able to put this together, and I can't wait to see it. And for us, this has been Wrestling IQ 101. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wrestling IQ 101. Hit that subscribe button. You can listen to this episode, past episodes, future episodes, and we will see everybody real soon.